The feature race at Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. It's a Group 3 1,000 metre, the National Day Cup. Skyfield, the hood comes off. Stronger race as well. First up, Lucky Patch comes back from the 1,200 to the 1,000 metres. Super Wealthy won it last year. And we've got Master 8 and Cordyceps 6 here, Tom, both coming off trials. Master 8 2 and Cordyceps has had the one. That's Cordyceps 6 and Small Field, who leads?
Yeah, well, there might not be a lot of pace in this race. It might not be as quick as it can be or could be with a fuller field. So Harmony and Rich likes to go forward, Paul, and Master 8, but Harmony and Rich should clearly lead this.
Yeah, he looks like the one he's going to lead as well. Lucky Patch, he's only had the one start over 1,000. Cordyceps 6 normally settles midfield or worse. Stronger, Super Wealthy and Skyfield, they all get back.
So that's the speed map with Harmony and Rich leading against the outside rail. Previous winners, we've got last year's winner in this race, Tom, with Super Wealthy. Computer Patch also 2 years ago, but now we go back to 2017. Yeah,
it's been a race that's sort of changed over the years. It was over 1,400 metres at one point, I think, this race, and had horses like Fairy King Prawn winning it. So it has been a race that's changed, Paul, but been a good race. Yeah,
it's been a really good race, and Super Wealthy won it really nicely last season, as we could see from that. He didn't go on and win again, but he was placed in numerous races.
The horse that ran second to him last year was Skyfield. Casper Found saddles him up under the 135 pounds, and here's Nick and Casper.
Casper, Skyfield, one of your stable stars, lining up this Saturday afternoon in the National Day Cup. Coming back to 1,000 metres, how is he?
He's really well. He ran extremely well in this race last season, and he'll be doing the same. He'll be working home. Obviously, there's handicap events when you're carrying 135, and you've got some really nice young horses in there. Like Gibson's horse, I would say, would be the favourite in the race. Looks to be the one that's going to keep progressing. But my guy's in great form, mate. He'll run his race, and once he gets to set weights, he'll be better suited.
Just on those last couple of runs, I mean, they've looked like very tough asks for him, haven't they? I mean, he's had to do it very tough with the big weight.
Yeah, he's done extremely well in the summer, so I just think he needs a little bit of racing to really strip and fit this campaign. And, I think that's going to be beneficial for him leading into the big races.
Talk to me about the hood. He's won that his last couple of runs. That comes off this time around.
Yeah, we just felt last season that he was getting a little bit quirky, and Blake said, look, it might be nice to try a hood on him. And we've done that, but now it's just off. He's game on now.
Do you feel he can enhance that good second up record? It reads quite impressively.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty good, but like I said, with the weight, it's always hard to sprint hard the last part of a race.
And you've got Luke Curry riding, of course, obviously a man with great experience and the type of jockey that you probably want on a horse like Skyfield.
Totally agree. I think he'll suit the horse, and look, he's a pretty straightforward horse down that, especially coming down that track. The speed will be on, and we'll be back, and we'll be working home.
Just on another one of your, well, hopefully potential stable stars, one that's already made a bit of a name for himself. We saw him trial this morning, Galaxy Witness. He rounded them up very impressively, Casper. You must have been pleased.
Yeah, he's summered really nicely. He's a big horse, and we've got high hopes for him this season. Starting off on a rating of 81. He starts his first run next weekend in a 1,400, and Chadwick will ride him. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like. When we stepped him up to the mile last season, he looked like he was going to win at the 200, and he just they got away from him the last spot. It might have been a case of he'd had enough for the season as well. So the freshen up's done him a world of good, and let's see how we go. I'm sure he'll be very competitive in this grade.
And he's 4-year-old series all over, is that the plan?
That's the plan, absolutely, yeah.
And just finally, one other horse I'd like to ask you about who's done a really good job here is winning Icy. That was great to see him win another one on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he's a little surprise package, He's not that big, but he's all heart, and it's lovely to get horses like that just keep improving, So we just hope we can continue with him. They didn't miss him in the ratings. They keep hiking him up, but hopefully we'll stay ahead of the old handicapping department.
We'll keep moving because we've got a bit to get through. We're going to see Skyfield 2 in this replay coming up as well. So we've got the Paul's favourite here, Tom, the split screen. Now we'll start with Super Wealthy, who's there in the pink and red colours. We've got Harmony and Rich crossing to lead, which may happen again on the weekend, and Skyfield and Lucky Patch, they're both further back in the field. What are we watching out for in this head-on?
A lot of interference, which in the end was mainly caused by the winner, Lucky Swayness, and poor old Super Wealthy. He copped the worst of it as they went into that first turn there as Lucky Swayness came across Keep You Warm, Trillion Winner, then Super Wealthy was very lucky to stay up, but also inconvenience there, Paul, was Skyfield. So Super Wealthy, the way he got knocked over there, did a fantastic job to pick himself up again.
He did, didn't he? And look, down the straight 1,000, he shouldn't have these problems, you know, with sort of going around the bend. So, look, he won the race last year. I think he's one of the main chances leading into this race as well. Skyfield, as Casper just said, once he gets to the set weights, we're going to see the best of him. He's fortunately under the handicap situation. He's got to carry 135 and give away a lot of weight to horses like Cordyceps 6.
He was another one in this race as well, Skyfield, that copped some of that interference, not as certainly to the extent that Super Wealthy did, and you can see wasn't really knocked around too badly at the final stages there in the Chief Executives Cup, but big run, Super Wealthy.
Yeah, it was indeed. Now we go back to the race last year, Tom. There's the graphic of what the top four did. That replay was in the Casper interview, and you've done some stats on what they went on to do after that.
Yeah, well, Super Wealthy didn't win again, but he placed numerous occasions. Of course, a couple of Group 1 winners have come through that race, Skyfield and Stronger. And Lucky Patch, he was the informed horse going towards International Day, Paul.
Yeah, he definitely was, and obviously he had that fall, but he was, I think he was favourite, wasn't he? And then Stronger's a Group 1 winner as well.
We go back to last season. This is Cordyceps 6, a win on the 22nd of May. He's also up against a Lucky Patch in this race and Skyfield as well, Paul, but he's just done a great job, Cordyceps 6.
He's the new kid on the block, isn't he? He's the up-and-comer. He's a 4-year-old by Star Turner's Cordyceps 6. He's drawn the outside, but look, drawn barrier 1, so it's the inside down the straight, but look, in the small field, he should get himself into a nice position. He'll definitely get his chance.
Had a really strong turn of foot the last 150 to run down Nervous Witness, did to Cordyceps 6. He's up 26 pounds in body weight, and he was very strong there at the line.
He's had the one trial, Tom, and it was at Happy Valley, so something a little different from Richard Gibson. I guess there is a negative. There is a negative for Cordyceps 6. It's his first up record is where he has failed a couple of times, about the only times he's failed.
He has. That's a fair comment there, Mark, with Cordyceps 6. But I quite like the trial here as well. The way he was finding the line over the concluding stages here. Of course, the horse in the blue and gold, Paul, is fantastic treasure. So the trial form's stacked up there.
Yeah, and look, you can see him coming off heels there as well. And look, the horse is, as we see, he's only a 4-year-old. He's only had the 12 starts, and he just really gets well suited here under handicap conditions.
We move on from his report card. Here's the trial, Tom, of Stronger. This is on the all-weather. There wasn't a whole lot in this trial as far as opposition goes, being a Group 1 winner that he is, but he does win it well.
He does, comes from the back. He covered some ground in this trial, but you can see him really hitting the line strongly out wider. He's still a full horse. This 6-year-old ran 4th in it last year. I just wonder, Paul, he's up 36 pounds in body weight, 1160, the heaviest he's ever been in his career. Yeah,
and look, he has to carry the weight as well, 135 pounds. So, look, he's a class horse. He's a Group 1 winner. He goes in on a very minor line for me, but again, it's not suited by the handicap conditions.
Vincent Ho, Douglas White, the combination with him. And finally, Paul Master 8. He's unbeaten over the 1,000 metres at Sha Tin. He's had the 2 barrier trials, and what did you make of them?
Yeah, look, they've been okay without getting carried away. The thing with him is he's got a really good fresh record, Master 8, and he is unbeaten down the straight 1,000. So this is on a weather. He's now going back to turf. He was pushed out a little bit, but he'll come on for this trial.
And he might have come to the end of it last prep. He was on that really wet track behind Duke Wide. Didn't seem to be enjoying that. He was pushed out before the home turn. And nothing wrong with the trial, I thought, there along the fence with Matthew Chadwick. So I think he needs to be kept safe, especially back down the straight.
So that is Master 8 out of the Frankie Law stable. Who's going to win the feature, Paul?
Got to go with the up-and-coming horse, Cordyceps 6. He's just so well in at the handicap conditions. 123 is all he has to carry. Super Wealthy last year's winner. Another one who's got a really good record down this straight 1,000, as has Master 8 and the Group 1 winner Stronger. And that's leaving out Skyfield. 6, 4, 5 and 2.
Yeah, very similar numbers. Went with the 6 as well, the Cordyceps 6 here for Alexia Bedell and Richard Gibson, like the trial. Super Wealthy goes in, has to be respected the way it ran on last start after being knocked over. Master 8 back down the straight. And Lucky Patch goes in, he was 3rd in this race last year. He also got a bit of a minor check in that incident in the Chief Executive Cup, but stayed on. So 6, 4, 5 and 3.